with one another. So it's not just like the past is over here and the present is over here, that's it. So as you can see from the exhibition, not all the final images were about desolate landscapes or derelict landscapes and putting the family snap in that. And Drew's photographs are really interesting from that point of view when you have a house. And the house stays the same, but there are 3 different kinds of family photographs that are all, if you like, kind of being positioned around the house's front door. And this is his family home where he grew up. And I think it's really interesting when you see those kind of counterpoints to, there aren't always these dramatic changes. So where you have other pictures that might speak more about what's being lost in sort of like traces of it in hidden history, other photographs are more about a kind of, there's still that quite strong link between the past and the present, and it's still quite it's still quite obvious, it's still quite evident. So not all of it's about a complete sort of eradication of someone's personal history. It's still there in one form or another. So I hope that the collaborators I hope they've really got a lot out of it, and it's not just my work, and that's why when you look at the captions, it's got my name and it's got Mary Kennedy's name or Drew Johnson's name and so forth. That sense of like 2 photographers, if you like, is really important, because I could not have made those pictures without my collaborator. Their sense of their experience, their local knowledge, they're the subject expert when it comes to the locations I've been working in. But also that kind of generosity of saying, I'll work with you, and yes, I'll work with here's my family photograph, and kind of giving permission for that has been really a privilege, and so I hope my collaborators have also got something out of working with me as much as I've got something out of working with them, and then in the kind of other part of it, of course, is for the audience, the viewers of the photographs that have been made. And I'm hoping some people of certain age groups will look at it and recognise their T-shirt in some of them. They will recognise buildings that maybe that they grew up with, whether it's multis or miners' cottages. But also, if you're kind of slightly younger, then it's also then how do you listen to kind of a generation that's that is either your parents or your grandparents, but also your own landscape and how that's changing, and how that's changing so rapidly, because it is kind of trying to draw attention to what's disappearing from the landscape, and it's not just a building. What's obviously tied up in a lot of these buildings is that what's going with them is a sense of other people's kind of like personal stories and histories and narratives, and people's identities are often tied up with like bricks and mortar. Also, I would hope that the audience, when they're coming to look at the photographs, is to really look at them, to walk up to them, because you've got a family photograph that's obviously sitting in a present day photograph, and the family photograph is being sort of ghosted out. So if you look through the family photograph, it's trying to see the present details that are behind that, and how the past and present are having a relationship with one another, and kind of sometimes there are some little surprises in that. And if you're feeling you've got your shopping list on your mind or something like that, then you might miss some things which have been actually really important to the collaborators, in particularly where the picture's been positioned. And so, for example, you've got a boy, he's out of focus, standing next to a tree. It looks like a Polaroid family snap. And in the distance, in sharp focus, is a multi multi-tower block. Now, when you come to see that picture inside Ardler Today picture, somebody's garden and the swings at the side and all the rest of it. If you look through the family photograph, you'll see an enormous pile of rubble, and that was the multi that was demolished. And I started my project just after that multi came down, and so that was kind of a really one of those kind of happy accidents that happen in making work.